Hey, Kelvin. Thanks for the check-in, buddy. So it looks like the majority of our coaching this week is going to be in regards to your questions. So I'll probably go ahead and do those last. The kind of the coaching aspect outside of questions. I think first of all, I want to make sure that this setup works pretty good for you, because it's a big concern of mine, Kelvin, is making sure that we get all of the training in a week. Okay, can't skip anything at this point, because we really got to build to a peak of volume and then taper that off while bringing up intensity. Okay, and so obviously if we've got volume set, we want to make sure we get that training in. So is this a pretty good setup? It looks like it. I see 3 main lifts that are left to do, and then I see only 2 secondary lifts, which basically tells me that it's Saturday there. You should be able to get this done, by Sunday. So that's kind of my biggest concern. Now, kind of get back to me next week on that. Make sure that it's a good setup, that we can get it all in. With regard to next week, so I've got the days here set up that you're basically got 3 days planned. 3 lifts on day 1, 2 lifts on day 2, 3 lifts on day 3. However, know that you can kind of, if you want to do 4 days, you can. Okay, so like say for example that you wanted to do just the squat on day 1. Okay, that's fine. And then your bench and your deadlift that you were supposed to get with the squat, do that on day 2. And then day 3 and day 4 is planned. So a little bit of leeway. As long as the work is done, Kelvin, that's all that really matters. Okay. So yeah, let's just make sure we got a good setup here, and that it's looking like without, obviously there's going to be times when it's hard. Let's face it, it's like, gosh, I got work to get done, and, I don't really have enough time. But hopefully it won't be like that all the time. We're looking at 1 week here and there, and it's always going to be, a little bit easier during the deload weeks, okay? So we can kind of know that, yeah, this week is hard, and I got to kind of sacrifice a little bit of time here to get it all in, but next week will be easier, okay? So really, that's it, my friend. It's looking good so far. With regard to your questions, let's first of all start out with your depth on your squat, okay? First of all, partner, most of the time when I see your lifts on social media, your squat depth is fine, okay? So just hit the depth that you normally hit, because that is usually fine. Now, I don't want you squatting on a box, okay? You're not going to be squatting on a box in the meat, okay? So let's not depend on that, and I don't want you getting injured. God forbid, you drop into your squat with 120 kilos on your back and then hit your ass on that box, okay? That's how you crush a intervertebral disc. Just hit the depth that you normally do, okay? So yeah, don't squat on top of a box. However, the depth that you've got, posted on that picture that you took there is fine. And that's usually about where you're hit, or at least pretty darn close to it. But no, you don't have to go any lower than that. Okay? And you'll see that sometimes people don't even get that low. Things happen quick. Okay? But as long as it's close to that, give or take an inch, you're fine. Okay? And like I said, most of the time, Kelvin, when I see your stuff on social media, it's all fine. Okay? All right, so what else we got here? You had a question about, how did I come up with the percentage? Basically, your example that you've got there is pretty darn close. All we're doing there is ramping up intensity, decreasing volume, deloading, starting it over again. With you, we've only got 5 weeks available, but you can kind of see, basically what happens. We want to get you increasing your strength through gradually increasing heavier and heavier intensities, the whole time, okay? And so you can kind of see how it kind of builds in an ebb and flow. we had to change things around a little bit since we've only got 5 weeks available to us. But normally, it's, if we've got a baseline of so much volume, we start at like 75%. We bring the volume down, we go to 77.5%. We bring the volume down, we go to 80%. We deload, switch it, start it over again, but heavier than the last one. So if we've got a certain amount of volume, we'll start with 77.5, 80, 82, deload. 80, 82, 85, deload. And then you keep on going that way until you reach your meat. Okay? But what we had to do is we did kind of a funky little switch so that at least we're using the heaviest work for a moderate amount of volume about 2 weeks out from your meat. Okay? But then, yes, the week 4 obviously is a taper so that we eliminate fatigue and not give your body enough time to get used to lighter weight. Okay. Now the HPS, the hypertrophy power strength, for the most part, that's independent and unrelated to the average intensity through percentage per week. Okay. And really, to be honest with you, we've got it kind of set up for you so that a lot of your kind of more hypertrophy stuff is kind of toward the end of the week. So with you, we've kind of got it more PSH, I guess you might say. Okay, and that's kind of where you'll kind of learn what works best for you. Some of these days you can move them around a little bit. Okay, so if you're seeing that at the beginning of next week you're feeling pretty darn fresh, and you want to get the hypertrophy stuff done first, do day 4 plan first. That's fine. Okay, and then maybe you can do the strength, and then maybe you can do the power. Okay, again, we kind of had to move things around here a little bit, but as long as the work is all done by the end of the week, that's all that truly matters. Okay, all right, so those are those 2 questions. Now, partner, I'm not going to be able to keep track of your lifts on social media. I need you to include your lifts in your email check-in so that everything is together and I'm not having to go searching on my phone on social media for your lifts. Okay, half the time I can't even tell when the lifts were in relation to your check-in anyway. Okay, so kind of figure that out. You can kind of see how I do business. I'm recording me right here with my phone. I upload it to my YouTube channel, and then I just set the privacy to unlisted and send you the link. Okay, so I kind of need you to do that with me from now on. This week it's not as critical, but starting next week it will be critical. Okay, plus it's just a good idea to see where your depth is and how you're performing the bench press, since those are the 2 lifts that are the most critical as far as form goes. Okay, deadlift's easy. You pick it up, they say down, you put it down. Okay, but I want to make sure that you're pausing on your chest, you're locking out and stopping before you're racking, basically doing the 3 commands: start, press, rack when you do your bench press. And then, of course, same thing on your squat. There's no difference there. You're going to walk it out, they're going to say start, you're going to go down, you're going to come up, they're going to say rack, you're going to rack it. The only difference is they don't give you a press command. Okay, but yeah, let's make sure we get those going next week. Yeah, but you know what? I always like the first meet to be easy. Let's not worry about cutting weight. Let's not worry about making weight. You're going to have no trouble making the under 83 category. Let's just have fun. That's kind of the most important part. And just get the experience, enjoy it, and then we can start worrying about making, weight classes later on. Okay? If need be. We might not even want to do that. We might just want to just do the same thing again. Okay? And just make you stronger. Okay, my friend, I think that's it. Hopefully I answered your questions. Hopefully you kind of know, what is expected of you as you do your prep and what you need to get to me. And yeah, outside of that, let's just enjoy this. Just do the training. That's really all you got to do, okay? And then kind of leave the thinking to me. Alrighty? Okay, bud. Thanks a lot. Glad you enjoyed those podcasts. We got another one coming out next Thursday that you might benefit from. It's Jeff and I talking about training in your 40s, but we do have a little bit of advice for the younger guys like yourself, too. So, all right, bud. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye now.